Hi. So we've just done the revision of the health informatics article if you're a health informatic person, or the Vickers article if you're a software engineering person, and I'll be getting back to you later on with individual feedback on your own summaries. The rest of this lecture, I'm going to be priming you for the exercise I want you to do for week 4 and for week 6. We'll talk about more about that in a second. And then in today's lecture, we're going to be talking about literature review, how you can find material for your literature review, the tools that are available to you, and the techniques that might help you as you try to search for information. You're going to find a lot more than is relevant, and you're going to suffer with a lot of information overload. So we're also going to look at various different filtering techniques you might employ to scale that material down to the more relevant material. And as per all the stuff we've covered so far, it's going to be iterative, where those tools are reused and the filtering is reused to get towards a place where you have a solid research question and a solid body of literature supporting that research question. So let's just talk about the exercise for week 4 and week 6 now. I'm going to give you 2 articles. They'll be in the resource folder. For the health informatics people, it'll be an aesthetic article written by Elvely and all. And for the software engineering people, it's going to be a metrics article written by Chidamber and Kemmerer. They were the people who came up with object-oriented metrics. For week 4, I want you to take those articles and identify 3 other articles that tie in with that article. So it's going to be based a lot on this week's lecture material. One strategy might be, for example, to read the original article, or at least the abstract, the introduction and the conclusion, to get an idea of what it's about. And then you could maybe find other articles that feed on from that original article. So, for example, the anesthetic article talks about various different protocols to make sure there are no drug mistakes in hospitals. So it presents 2 techniques and tests them. Maybe you could find other techniques that also test them. Or maybe you could find in the software engineering article that looks at metrics, you could look, these are the first people that really seriously proposed object-oriented metrics. You could look at subsequent work which has refined their metrics and moved them on further, for example. So that's what I mean by finding 3 other articles that fit into that first article. So you're going to do this in teams of 3. I want everyone to read the original paper, and then you'd probably have a meeting to get together to discuss other papers that you might like to find that fit in with that article. So you'd then take 1 article each, read it, and then you'd meet up again and talk about the structure of the resultant summary you're going to provide me. So the deliverable for this project is a summary and a critique of this paper and the 3 other papers. So for health informatics people, you have to give me a summary of the anesthetic article and 3 other papers that fit in with it, and a critique, what isn't covered, what mistakes have been made in those papers. Mistakes like we pointed out in the first time, not typos, not style mistakes, not writing mistakes, but actual content mistakes where there's an issue that you think could benefit from more research. Likewise, if you're a software engineering person, you're going to read the metrics article. You're going to find 3 other articles that fit in. You're going to put them together in one cohesive summary, and you're going to come up with a list of bullet points critiquing the article about where they've left stuff out, where they've been inconsistent, where further research could go, essentially. So what I'm looking for is about 1.5 pages of summary and about 1 page of bullet points that critique the article. And remember, not on the writing styles, but on the actual content. Arguments they've made that seem flawed, or gaps that they've left that seem like they should be filled in. So for that 2.5 page summary / critique, you'll get 15% as a team. Then I'll review them and I'll give you feedback before we have a lecture in week 5. In week 6, you'll be expected to give a presentation on that material, short presentation, and you'll be expected to update your article to react to the feedback I've given you. So if I suggest that you do change X, then maybe change X should be incorporated into your article, or you should be able to write back to me and say, actually, we didn't think that was a good idea because. So I'm not, against you fighting your corner and saying, well, we think we did it better. But that will be worth 5%, that presentation and updating of the article. Okay, so we'll start with literature review material and finding articles in a second. Thanks.